there, Christine Glover here to share with you some tips to increase productivity during uncertain times, particularly right now. Even though we want to write every day and we think we have all this time, sometimes it's really hard to sit down in the chair. And I talked a lot about that in my very first debut video, BitChalk, which I've got a link for you to look at and nab down in the description. But I thought I'd just go over some points that are helping me as we go through these crazy times. I personally haven't been out very much. I don't go to coffee shops anymore. I may be allowed to by certain individuals in my government to go to coffee shops, but I'm just not comfortable breathing in other people's air right now. And I don't want to wear a mask when I'm out writing. I want to be comfortable and be able to write at home. So fortunately, I have a good space to do that. But here are some ways that you can increase your productivity without having to leave your house, all from the comfort of your own home. And I think it'll help you to get some words on the page. Even if it's only 100 words a day, it's still 100 words. You do what you can do. Sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a lousy day, but this might help you get through some of the lousier days. So one of the first things, as you know, I like to have a top priority list set up for each quarter. I tend to reflect and review upon that every quarter. This quarter has been crazy because of the COVID and pandemic as far as my personal family household top 5 list. While most of that's been punted, we're just gonna have to just look at it day by day, just like everybody else is looking at life day by day. But fortunately, my writing list has been almost all done except for finding a few titles and stuff like that. So like I always do start with that quarter list and I reflect and review upon it. And it can be moved to the next quarter. There's nothing set in stone. It's not like I'm gonna, give myself a little whack on the side of my head and go, whoa, you didn't do all that, so you're a failure. No, I did. Look at everything else I did. I'm a success, even if I didn't get everything done. So that's the first thing I do, and I recommend you watch the BitChalk video if you haven't heard about that before, because I go into it a little bit more deeper and at length. And I just remind myself why I'm doing this and what goal I want to achieve as a writer, what I want to show my readers as a writer, what my themes are. And oftentimes my themes are, you cannot have the future you deserve with the person that you love or want to be with if you can't let go of your past or your false beliefs about yourself. You have to let go of those things in order to have the future you deserve. And that's just my basic underlying theme, probably in life in general, so that's why it's in my stories. So one way you can definitely get some action going is to do on Twitter 1K 1 hour. There's a hashtag 1K 1 hour that you can use. I don't do it anymore, mainly because Twitter has been kind of crazy and I don't want any negativity in my life, but it can be a place to find other authors and writers that are struggling to just maintain a word count. And it doesn't have to be 1K, but you can just say, hey, I've been in here for this hour and I'm working with you. And it gives us sort of a sense of community, which I'll talk about in another video. One thing that I did that helped pull me away from being on Twitter and more focused was join a Slack group that I was fortunate enough to be invited to join, where we just pop in. There's, I think, about 5, 6, or 7 of us. It just depends on a given day. We just pop in and say, hey, good morning, girls. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because everybody has different writing styles. And we just hold each other accountable. We write sprints and we meet up at the hour 00 or at the 30-minute mark. And it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. You just say, I'll see you at the next :00, 30. And then we just post what we've achieved and we're honest. Like sometimes it's like, well, I decided to get lint out of my dryer because I couldn't think of anything. Like we have our bad days too, and some days are better than others, but this does hold us accountable with each other. And it kind of makes you feel like you're in a virtual coffee shop, which is nice. Sometimes we'll do a Zoom and we'll just pop in and out after a half an hour, 25 minutes to half an hour, and we'll do that. So that's a great way to increase your productivity and not feel like you're sitting alone in a room by yourself writing all the time, because it is a lonely profession, and it's nice to be able to touch base with other people who understand exactly what you're going through. I use a timer. I've been the queen of the timer for years now. I set my timer on my watch for 25 minutes. It's the Pomodoro method. If anybody wants to know more about that, you can look that up online. I'll see if I can find a link and put it in the description for you. And you basically work for 25 minutes, take 5 minutes out, then you go back in for 25, take 5 minutes out, and you do that 4 times, and then you can take a longer break in between. But to be very honest with you, I have set a very low bar, word count bar for me myself right now, because there are a lot of big real life personal things going on in our world, and I need to have my afternoons free to help out with those things, and also to do things for my business that don't come first necessarily. I do that. I do the 25 in, 5 minute out, and I do that until I reach my word count goal for the day, which is set by my Scrivener. It automatically resets my word count based upon how much I've done over the course of the week. And I oftentimes give myself the weekends off, because hey, if I were working a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday, I'd get the weekends off too. So it's nice to do different things on the weekends. That's often when I do my YouTube videos. It's often when I do the editing for that. It's just a different wheelhouse of stuff. And I do some businessy stuff. And I try to give myself at least one day where it doesn't matter what I do. I can do whatever the heck I want. It's nice to have visual reminders for myself. I'm a very visual person. So I like to have visual reminders about what I need to do in my office. So I have the Kanban board. I don't know, Kanban board. I don't know if that's proper pronunciation. I'm lousy with pronunciation. I have that sitting up, and that basically breaks down everything I want to do for the quarter on the top in all the areas of my life, including home, my writing tasks, my business and promotion tasks, and also my editing tasks. So then every week I pull down, I do it on little Post-its, and then I pull them down and I put them onto a line that's like this week's task. Because if they don't get done, they don't get done. Who cares? Like, I'll just move them, I'll just keep them there until next week. And then below that I have some stuff written down for the rest of the year that I know is going to come up, or the next quarterly kind of things that are going to come up. And they're just done on color-coded Post-its to help me know where to shift things. So green is for writing, blue is for house. I think I use like a yellowy color for businessy stuff. And then I use a pink one for editing, because it's almost like red blood, right? And I also do that for my critiquing with my critique people. So that's one visual I use. And me being me, as my critique partners know, I like having multiple reminders. So I also have like my Erin Condren planner. I particularly like the vertical one. It works really well for me. It's very easy to haul from place to place. So it's sort of like my portable, this is my life. Wherever I go, I take it with me. I have everything I need in there. I know who to call. I really do love having that planner, a real paper planner with me. And then I have their desk month by month planner that I go through and pencil things in, sometimes also doing color coding for what has to be done. Life has been really kind of crazy for everyone. It has been crazy for us since last year, pretty much since I decided to sell our house in Alabama in, I think it was January 2019. It's been really crazy, but somehow we've managed to muddle through, and now we're just continuing to do so. We've got another big push coming up at the middle of July, so I'm hoping to get a lot of videos done. That's really on my task board, so that I can then have them ready for you even while I'm on the road dealing with what I have to deal with on that trip. Another thing that I like to do is use online organizational tools. I use Trello. I got that information from Regina Kyle. She's really cool. I interviewed her about her last release, and you can check that out. I'll drop the link in there. I really like it. It's kind of like having a portable Kanban board, so that works out really, really well. And I also really like using Bear Notes. It's only going to be good for you if you're an Apple, Mac, iPad person, but I'm telling you, I got the upgraded version for it, and it's literally saved my life, particularly in trying to help my brother get my mother moved across the Canada from Manitoba to Alberta, because everything goes from all my lists, I put everything in my lists in there, and it goes automatically into my phone or into my iPad. So if, say, my sister-in-law called me and said, or texted me and said, do you know so-and-so's doctor number? It's right there on my list, on my phone, and I can immediately call it up. I do the same thing with like my groceries and stuff right now, because I've been doing curbside delivery, so that's been really helpful. And I put a lot of writer stuff in there as well. So I have it at my fingertips wherever I go, and I can just call it up. I love Bear Notes. It's great. So those are some of the ways that I find myself organizing my life and increasing my productivity. If I know when I have to do X, Y, Z, or what I have to do day by day, that's really helps me focus better in on the story. And I'll be sharing a little bit more about what my day looks like in another video. I hope you enjoyed my tips for increasing productivity in your writerly world. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to hear more about how I get through all these writing jams and more inspiration and meet more authors, then subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And as always, I wish you well, happy writing and happy reading. Bye.